Welcome to Lost Culture, your one-stop destination for everything pop culture. My name is Aston. Today we're going to do a review and a recap for Arrow Season 5, Episode 1. So in this episode, we get to see Oliver's back in the field. He's doing everything basically on his own. He's the mayor. He's Arrow. He's just a lone dog right now. And it's crazy to see, not really crazy, but we get to see how he's out here doing everything on his own. He's excelling as the Arrow, but he's failing as the mayor, which is, I guess, to be expected when someone is putting all their effort towards one thing. They normally lack in a different field. So we see that's going on. We see he's actually getting low approval ratings because he's missing a lot of meetings. He's publicly calling out the police force for being corrupt. We see all these different things for Oliver going on, which is it's actually good to see that. We see Oliver hasn't really changed his stance on much. Obviously, we see he's in his field by himself. It's him and Felicity. They have Mr. Incredible, who's kind of helping out at the beginning of the episode. He's not really he's part of the team, but not really part of the team. He's more just for IT work and things of that maintenance. Of that field. He's working on the computers. We see him and Felicity is very close. We see that Felicity is actually asking him to go out and actually actively look for people. So that's like the wild dog. That's who they're looking for at the moment. That's the one she's actually keep pushing on to Oliver. Now we know throughout the season Oliver is going to get a new team. We know he's going to get an Artemis. We know he's going to get Wild Dog. I forgot who else is coming, but these vigilantes are going to come. I'm glad they're going with the. I'm assuming they're going with the not Teen Titans, but the Young Justice version of Artemis, because in Young Justice they had Artemis as actually a bad guy. She wasn't really a bad guy. I mean, as a good guy, she wasn't actually a bad guy. So I'm glad we're seeing the Young Justice kind of Artemis coming through, and we get to see Oliver doesn't like being alone. He actually wants a team. He just wants his team. We see when he actually gets Speed to go out on a mission with him, when Oliver gets kidnapped, he starts to feel like, oh, maybe she'll come back. But we find out she doesn't want to come back. She's used to living her life without looking over her shoulder. She doesn't like being out in the field, harming people, having to feel like her life is at danger. So she's glad to she doesn't have to worry about the stress of being a vigilante anymore, always on call, not really get to live in your own life. Now, the same thing is going on for Diggle. We see Oliver is calling Diggle. Diggle's not really picking up, and we find out Diggle is in the army, back in the army. We knew that from last season, but right now we get to see Diggle's actually back in the field. He's actually deployed, so he gets to call Oliver on the void phone, and Oliver is actually asking for his blessing to be able to assemble a new team. He gets the blessing, and that's pretty cool to see. Even though Diggle doesn't want to be it, he's okay with Oliver not recasting, but getting new people in to fill up the voids. Now, with that being said, we get to see Oliver as mayor. He basically erects a statue of the Black Canary, and at nighttime that statue is amazing. Because when we saw it in the light, I really wasn't feeling it at all. But we get to see that at nighttime that statue is amazing. And we see when Oliver basically is trying to get Captain Lance to come back in. Lance doesn't really come back in, but he does he points Oliver in the right direction of some new individuals who would be willing to help Oliver. With all that being said, we see this is going to be the last season of flashbacks. These flashbacks are actually amazing. I really like these flashbacks. This episode in general was actually really cool too. But these flashbacks are we're actually getting information on Oliver's Russian mob ties. We know back in I think season 1 and 2, Oliver had ties to the mob, and we don't really know where they came from. And I think he loses them too. He does something in which kind of he loses his ties to the mob. Now, with that being said, it shows that they're actually using the flashlight as always to see some skill that Oliver learned, which is going to help him out in the moment. which we do. We see he learn how to dislocate his thumbs and redo it whenever he wants to, and he used that to get out the zip ties. We see he has a new criminal, a new antagonist that he's going up against. He's supposed to be, well, from what they said, they want the writers said they went for a Stringer Bell type character. And you know who Stringer Bell is? He's from The Wire, but Stringer Bell wasn't really he was a criminal, but he was more of a mastermind. He actually didn't really, he got dirty every once in a while, but he more called the shots. This individual we actually see is actually out in the field. He actually in the trenches doing everything. Stringer Bell was so like ferocious because he didn't have to do anything. He was just so smart. He knew the business. He was not only a drug dealer, but he was a businessman within like a city council. He was getting building permits, regular permits and everything. But at the same time, he ran this entire drug enterprise with the help of Barksdale. But everybody knows Stringer. Like, that's a whole different show. That's The Wire. If you guys want to see that, that's an amazing show you guys should check out. If you kind of see where they're actually getting the motivation for this season from, that would be The Wire. It's on HBO. You can stream it. It's like an amazing show to check out. Now, with that being said, back to this, we see this guy isn't, in my opinion, he isn't the Stringer Bell he isn't the Stringer Bell character we were promised. I don't know who was him or the Archer we get to see at the end. I don't know who the Archer is yet. I'm gonna do try to get more. We didn't get to get too much information. Me just seeing the all-black Archer. The last time we had to see an all-black Archer it was Merlin. But we got the name drop of him, but I'm pretty sure he's not back on his bull. Like, I'm pretty sure he's not back out in the field like that right now. But besides that, we get to see some nice action shots of Oliver when he when he's riding the helicopter and everything, when he gets back into the helicopter and everything. It was just a great episode. This is a great episode. This is like one of the best episodes we had from Arrow in a while. We don't really know how everything between him and Felicity is going to work out. Well, we know Felicity has moved on, but we don't know if Oliver has really moved on. So that's really all we have this episode. I'm going to give like my Arrow moment of the week. Where I have to go to it would go to Oliver when he actually breaks his thumb, but dislocates his thumbs, and when he gets called like to the back and he gets loose and everything. By the time Speed shows up, it's too late. But besides, it was like a really great episode, and that's what we had this episode. We do see Oliver and Wild Dog run into each other. Oliver hits him with the arrow in the knee. And that's why I was so surprised they're actually out looking for Oliver again. Like, we're not looking for Oliver, we're looking for Wild Dog, because we know in the beginning of the episode, Oliver has put like a fucking arrow through his meniscus. Like, how is he going to be out back in the field later that day? That's like the only thing I thought was a little messed up about this episode. But besides that, it was actually mostly ups. Like, there wasn't too many downs from this episode. I think Arrow has finally returned back to form that we know. This is the beginning of the DC universe that we remember. We remember how gritty it was. I just hope they keep on this path, because it's like they're trying to compete with Flash, but I don't think Arrow needs to. Arrow is the beginning of the DC universe, and we know Flash is like inherently just a lot brighter show. Sorry about that. I just wish they would just understand that. Now, besides that, thank you guys for tuning in. If you want to keep up to date with what we're doing, just follow us on Instagram at @lost_culture. You can follow us on Twitter at @lost_cult_TV. Or you can follow me on Instagram at @Saint_Aston. And as always, stay lost. Called Superhero Rundown. At the end of the week, I'm basically going to be upset at him and actually just send him